Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can connect Airtable to N8N. If you've ever wanted to automate your data workflows, manage dynamic tables, or replace Google Sheets in your automation stack, this is the foundation that you'll need. By the end of this video, you know how to create and set up your Airtable API credentials, connect Airtable to N8N, perform your first automation like adding or reading records from a base. If you're serious about building automation that scale, Airtable is the solid choice. We'll start by creating our Airtable connection. But before we do that, I should say this. The first thing that you need to have is an Airtable account. So to do that, you can go to Airtable. I'll show you the website in a moment. But the first thing that we need to do here is to add a node. And we're going to add the Airtable node. So I'm going to search for Airtable. And here we have the Airtable node. So there are two things. We have the Airtable trigger and the Airtable node for Airtable actions. The credentials that we are going to add here will work for both the trigger and the Airtable node for just basic actions. In this case, I'm just going to go here and select get a record. Now, once we've done that, it's the time for us to make a connection to Airtable. We are going to come here and select create a new credential. We are going to select access token, but first of all, let's go to the docs. Right here, it's where you can find all the documentation on how you can make this connection. So you can see here, they say it works for the Airtable and Airtable trigger as well. The connection that we're going to use in this tutorial is the personal access token. To do that, you need to go to this link, which is airtable.com/create/tokens. Remember, by this time, I'm assuming that you already have an Airtable account. If you don't have an Airtable account, you can just go directly to airtable.com and create your Airtable account. So after you've done that, you can now come here and access this link, create/tokens. You can see I already have a number of tokens here, but we're going to go ahead and create a new token. Since we are using a token for this demo, I'm just going to say Airtable demo. Right here, you need to add the scope. So it says scopes, and if you click here, it takes you to the documentation where you can read more about scopes. But for N8N, the scope that we need are these: data records read, data records write, and schemas basis read. So I'm going to go back here and add the scope. So data records read, schemas basis read. Let's see what else. Data records read, schemas basis read, data records write. This one. After we've done that, we can now come here and say this token, we can give the token access. So it says this token can access the following bases and workspaces. You can only grant access to bases and workspaces that you have access to. So I need to add, you can come here and add all resources. By doing that, you're giving it all access to your Airtable bases and workspaces. I wouldn't recommend this. What I recommend is adding a base here, and this will give you all the bases that you have in Airtable. So if you're new to Airtable, you would be asking, what is a base? A base is just a top level container that holds all your related data. So it could be, you can think of it as a combination of a database and spreadsheet files. So everything that is related, all the tables that are related or spreadsheets, you can add them together inside a single base. I'm going to show you an example of what this is in just a moment. So I'm going to add a base here, and let me use this one, expenses tracker, which is one of my bases in Airtable. I'm going to create the token, and you can copy this, go back to N8N, and then paste your, I'm just going to paste the token here and save it. If this works, you're going to see something like this pop up, which says credentials successfully created. So that means we now have the connection. If I come here, I can now, I'll just save this and then go back here. I can now choose from the different bases that I have. But remember, since I've provided access to only this base, I'm only able to select this base. So I'm going to select this. And then once I've done that, I can change this to search, which makes it a bit easier. And then the table here, I need to select a table which is inside my base. There is a table called transactions. So I'm going to select that. And if I execute this, I'm going to get all the data that is in that table. But you can add filters, you can add formulas here to make sure that you're getting the data that you want. If I go to Airtable, let me just show you what a base is in Airtable. So if I go to my Airtable account, and here these are my workspaces, but I want this one, expense tracker, which is the one that I gave access to in my credentials bureau previously. So you can see that this is a base, but let me go to view data, and yeah, so this is my expenses tracker base. Inside it, I only have one table at the moment, but you can add a number of tables, as many as you want, I guess. But then at the end of the day, the idea is you want to put similar tables inside one base. So that's it about Airtable connection. But this is a foundation for the tutorials that we're going to be having later on. So an understanding of how you can connect to Airtable will be very, very important. See you in the next video. Feel free to subscribe and comment to support this channel. Thank you.